morning, everybody. Happy holiday Monday. That's if you have off from work. If you don't, I strongly apologize. And, well, at least we're giving you something to cope with you having to work. Welcome to the channel. I am Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns. We have a very special guest today, and I will introduce him off the bat because the other two jokers have been here before. We have Eugene, Nick Dinsmore, aka Eugene. I'm starting it off with a terrible but how you doing, Nick? What's
Thank you
up,
for
buddy?
having me.
Of course, thank you for coming on. We had to move this around a few times, but the most important part is we are here and we are ready to go. And as you know, to the other side, they've been on the channel before, so please welcome them back with open arms. Xero and Leo from the Wrestling Retrospective and Xero Uncut.
Hello.
Morning, guys. How are we doing?
Right. Good.
So, Nick, we have a few questions for you about your career, about other stuff. So I think the best course of action is to just go one by one. We'll go Bobby, Xero, Leo, or whatever, and we'll reverse it. And yeah, so I think I'm gonna start it off. So, the most important one is illustrious career in wrestling. Was wrestling always in the plans for you, or did it kind of just happen?
Kind of both. I wanted to be a pro wrestler since I first saw Saturday Night's Main Event when I was like 8 years old,
Okay.
and then I moved to the Louisville, Kentucky area, which got Memphis TV. So then I saw Lawler growing up, and it just so happened that there was a pro wrestling training school in the town that I lived in, and that was the Nightmare Danny Davis School of Wrestling, which ended up becoming OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Okay, that's cool. Uh, Bobby's Breakdowns, which is my channel. I think Ryan commented from the wrong account. Says it's Eugene. Yes, he is here. And then Ryan, what's up, people? I hacked my own stream. That's interesting. All right, that's cool. That's pretty cool. Yeah. So, all right, it was always in the plans, and I honestly, I think I could say I could speak for everyone on this panel. You made it to the big time. You really did. So, Xero, you're up with your question.
Right. Hello, Eugene. First of all, So, question here then. So, from the current generation of wrestlers, is there anyone you would really like to feud with if you could? Really? From any brand, anywhere, basically.
I don't know that I got a feud left in me. What are you talking about? No, but
You still got gas in the tank?
Oh no, man, it's empty. It's done empty. But I would like to go back and manage. Is what I would like to do. I'd like to be a manager for Chad Gable. That's what I want to do.
That'd be good. Yeah, that could be really
good.
good.
Down to the zeitgeist out there. See what happens.
That would be really cool.
That would.
And I am personally a big fan of Chad Gable, so that could definitely work. I would love to see that. All right, Leo, you are up.
Yeah, well, speaking of current day people, I don't know if you watch NXT, but is there anyone kind of that you've seen in NXT that you feel like or think that will make it to the heights of WWE and like main event WrestleMania, championships, all that kind of stuff?
I don't really watch the current product, and I haven't watched any of NXT. So, but what I will say is the foundation that those guys are going to learn at the Performance Center and learning at NXT, any one of them could end up being a WrestleMania main eventer because they've got the opportunity to get so much education and so much practice and become so good. So I don't know who it's going to be, but I'm sure they're going to be great.
Charlie Perry just says, Eugene, welcome to the chat, CJ. Thank you for joining us. Yes, like you said, the NXT stars, we got a bunch of them that are making it big right now. We got Braun Breaker, who's probably going to have a big WrestleMania match. Carmelo Hayes is doing big things. Grayson Waller is certainly on his way up. And then you got the Black and Gold, who Becky Lynch, Bayley, Charlotte, all those, Alexa Bliss. It's pretty cool. Okay, so back to my question. Back to me. The Eugene gimmick. Now, it's a rather interesting one, to say the least. Who came up with that exactly?
So it was my creation, but
Really?
I got the idea from the hustler Rip Rogers, who was the trainer at Ohio Valley Wrestling at the time. His son has autism, and I mean he was a kid at the time. He's like, I don't know, in his 20s now. He just graduated college. I mean the kid's brilliant, but he had autism, and Rip gave me the idea. What about a character that isn't very social backstage, but the minute he gets in the ring, he can do everything, wrestling wise, because he's watched it his whole life. And there was going to be another peel of the onion layer of the Eugene characters. Eugene knew all the trivia, so it could be like some obscure match in some town. He would know the attendance and how much money was at the gate and who was the main event, and all the obscure trivia that you can imagine would be on some trivia game for WWE. That never really got fleshed out, but that was kind of the idea of the character going into it.
It's cool. I like it. Yeah, because I hate to put it in terms this way, but in modern day, I don't think that gimmick would work.
Oh, come on. Don't kid yourself. WWE has the ability to do anything they want.
Oh no,
They
no,
can
no.
do it and make it right. You know what I mean? They could take a character like that and make the people believe in it again.
True, they could pull it off, but I imagine there's not a lot of people that would be too happy with it. But I mean, I'd be for it. Like I said,
Why?
um,
Are you isolating a whole target audience that you've got out there that need to connect with the WWE superstar? You know,
true.
you're not letting the people that Eugene represented, have a connection and a person that they can see up there.
I mean, I'm all for it, but just some people, aren't thinking like that per se.
Well, who's the bad guy then? You know what I mean?
Oh, trust me, I know. You're preaching to the choir, my friend. Xero, you're up with your next question.
So then, obviously, during your illustrious career, was there anyone you wished you could have teamed with, alive, dead, and like if you could again? I know we've obviously said you haven't got any gas left in the tank now, but if you could get back in the ring, is there anyone who you would absolutely love to team with again, alive, dead, from anywhere, really?
So the one guy that I didn't get a chance to meet was the Macho Man. I never met Macho Man, but I met everybody else that I watched growing up. And then the match I wish I could have had was I wish we could have had some resolution with Regal and Eugene, some turn. Whether I mean more likely it would be Regal turn on Eugene. That'd be the easy way to go. But if Eugene was to turn on Regal, I don't know if that would have worked. But I would have liked to have seen that play out, but that didn't happen. And then the guy, like I said, the guys now, when Braun Strowman and Chad Gable were at the Performance Center, I work with those guys a lot. They started in my class, and I'm friendly with them. So those are the only guys that I really stop and watch if I happen to see them on.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I think it'd be really good actually. Like if you could like team with Strowman or Gable, I would like to see that actually. Gable.
I didn't say team with them. I said manage them.
Manage them, yeah. Fair enough, yeah. Manage them, yeah. That could work. That could work. Could work.
All right. Before we shoot over to you, Leo, Pyrrhus Wrestling. Nick, what are your thoughts on the Tony Storm gimmick? That gimmick is amazing. I know you said you don't watch the current product, but
well, the thing is I don't watch the current product, but I can't get away from it on social media. So I've seen clips, I've seen photos of her, and the fact that she's all over social media must mean that people like it.
True. There's no such thing as bad press.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like sometimes I'll see a couple of guys, I have no idea who they are, and then I won't see them again. And I'm assuming that they aren't very impressive because people don't, retweet and reshare the clips of the guys that I'm not seeing. But there's a whole slew of people that I'm seeing all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And she is one of them. But I haven't seen her stuff, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a Marilyn Monroe vibe. That's the best way I could put it. And she did it for a while. Then she came back and she had like amnesia and she didn't remember the whole thing. But then she was like playing us, and now she's back as Timeless Tony Storm. So it's like an old, I don't even know what time frame, actress thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, yeah, she's crazy. She throws her shoes. It's kind of wild. But the gimmick clearly works because she's over with the crowd, and it's like kind of like, to me, it's like Orange Cassidy. I'm not sure. Are you familiar with him?
I've seen him on the clips and the photos, but I haven't watched the match.
He's like the lazy wrestler, hands in his pockets, jeans wrestling, and it's a gimmick that you don't think would work, but And Chris Jericho even said the same thing when they signed him to AEW. He said, "Why are we signing this guy?" And then he came out, and the crowd went nuts. And Chris Jericho was like, "All right, I get it now." He's like, "You can't question how you are with the fans. He's over."
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you don't have to get it, but a lot of guys that know that if the crowd goes wild for somebody, that's the direction that you should go until it burns out, man.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, for sure. Uh, do you think Eugene can work in AEW or nah?
I'm sure I could. I just have to get hired.
Who I wonder? Who could I see you managing from AEW? If Leo or Xero want to pop in, I can't. Who would be a good? I don't know. I would have to think
I don't know,
about
to be
that.
honest. Yeah, I can't think
Yeah,
of anyone.
Leo,
Really.
you're more AEW than I am, so
Yeah, no one's really coming to mind, but
yeah, I'll get. I'll circle back to that.
no.
Marilyn
What are you
Monroe,
telling me?
Bobby. Come on now. I said Marilyn Monroe. Did I not? All right. Anyway, next, Leo, your next question, sir.
Yeah, so bringing up your you being in the PC, I was wondering what the transition was like from FCW to NXT, and like your first experiences of the Performance Center, and kind of your first thoughts on all that stuff.
So I was only at FCW for 1 week. I came down as a guest coach for FCW, and then when they started the Performance Center, that's when I started. But I mean, it was awesome. It's a huge building. It had like, I think, 5 rings, maybe 6 rings when I was there. It had a full gym, a full locker room with a kitchen for all the talent upstairs. Had those little confessional booths where you can record yourself doing promos, and you can go back and watch it. I mean, it's really cool, awesome building. Triple H, I guess, went to the New York Giants training facility and looked at what they had, and then patterned the whole Performance Center after that.
No, sound.
That's cool. I like it. All right, my next question. And for those of you that don't know, Eric Bischoff, I don't believe is Nick's real uncle. I'm just gonna put that out there, just for to break those people's hearts. How did that come to be? Did you pitch it? Did he pitch it? How did that exactly come to be?
No, I pitched the idea of the character, and then they brought it up to TV, and that was just the writer Brian Gerwick. He's the one that could write. He wrote all the Eugene stuff. I think he wrote a lot of the Rock stuff.
Yeah, he's the Rock's writer now, right?
Yeah. He could write for Eugene. So it was just he put it all together. I mean, I was put in a great place. I was put right at the top with Bischoff, which gave me credibility, gave Eugene credibility, and then with Regal, it gave me an odd couple pairing where I didn't have to carry the whole segment. You know.
Agreed. So behind probably my favorite Eugene moment was probably Brian Gewirtz. Okay. So you were what year was this? 05, 06, something like that?
04 to 07, yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the year. You were backstage with Shelton Benjamin and his mother, and you calmly come into the TV. You were like, I know you from somewhere. And they're just both looking, Big Mama's house too. And Shelton's like, get out of here. I remember even being young. I think I was like 9 or 10 at that point, and I even remember just laughing hilariously then. So many funny moments. That's my personal favorite, but I'm sure the other two might have others. But that one always.
I remember doing. I don't remember that. I remember doing the segment, but I didn't remember what I said. That's funny.
Yeah, you said either Big Mama's house or Big Mama's house.
I think that's right. And
yeah, something.
Said it. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, Sheldon's like, get out of here, you little. so funny. Xero, your next question or comment?
So yeah, you've done like training and stuff at the PC and with the talents, like what you said. If you were to, this has actually come from one of my followers and stuff, is if you could advise an up and coming wrestler who wants to get into the business, would you advise them to come in more as a face or a heel gimmick? Really, like, which one do you reckon would get over more if they were to pitch it really to WWE? In your eyes?
I mean, I don't know. If someone is to the point where they have a character and then they know who the character is, then you would pitch whatever the character is. But generally, somebody starting out, the old timers used to would say that you would start out as a baby face, and then after a certain period of time, you would turn heel. Then when you turn back babyface, you've been a heel, so you realize what you want the babyface to do, so you can do that. And then when you do a second heel turn, now you've been, you've been the babyface and the heel, so you know where you want everybody to be in the match.
Yeah.
But it's generally guys start off as a babyface, and unless unless they're really, really, really good heel, or you need a heel.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, it's just because that came from somebody who's at one of the they're at the Nightmare Factory at the moment training, so they're sort of trying to work on their persona and stuff. So they were sort of asking like what, because they want to try and be a heel eventually, but they didn't know whether to just come straight in as it or whether to come in as a face straight away. So yeah, it's quite insightful actually for that one.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, Leo, you're up next.
Yeah, I was wondering what it was like. I can't remember which SummerSlam it was, but working with the likes of like Triple H and Evolution and Chris Benoit and kind of like all these like really top guys, and yeah, just like what that was like as an experience, really.
I mean, it was super cool. It's surreal. I went from growing up watching wrestling to even getting hired and still watching these guys on TV. And all of a sudden, I'm in segments with Ric Flair and Orton and Batista and Triple H. I mean, it was totally awesome. It was a magical ride that I had.
Yeah.
Leo, you actually kind of stole my question. Actually, I was gonna say like you had a SummerSlam match with Triple H, like not many people can say like they've had a WrestleMania match with Triple H, a SummerSlam match with Triple H, but you are that rare group that has had it. Like how, and I know Leo just asked you this, but like kind of piggybacking off of it, like how did that feel? Like how did that, like you're working with one of the best guys of all time.
Yeah, it was the first time Eugene got booed though. Remember, it was in Toronto and they turned on Eugene. It was like all of a sudden all my instincts were to go with that and become a heel, which would have been awesome. And he wanted to have his match. Yeah. So we had his match, and it was just I don't know. Plus I got cut open and I was bleeding down my arm.
Nah. But yeah, it's like I'm thinking back, like I said, there's such a rare group that can say like I've wrestled Triple H on a main pay-per-view, and you are one of those people, and nobody can take that away from you. So that's pretty cool to me. Ryan Keys has a question: does Eugene watch Marvel/DC movies? No.
I saw the original Superman with Christopher Reeves. Does that count?
Technically, yeah. So no modern day stuff.
No, man.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. Before we head back to Xero, I think. Do you guys remember the first time you saw Eugene on TV? Because I do. So if you could, because I have a special show. Okay, so mine was WrestleMania 21, and I was brand new to the wrestling scene. I see Muhammad Hassan and Daivari beating up on poor old Eugene. And
he wasn't old then. He wasn't old then.
But I see Muhammad Hassan and Daivari beating him up, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm 9 years old, so I really don't like this. WrestleMania 21 was my first show watched fully. So I was like, I didn't really know what was going on, what was happening. I kind of just got into it. And all of a sudden I hear the music hit, the crowd goes nuts, and I'm like, who is this? Hulk Hogan coming in for the save on Eugene and beating up Hassan and Daivari. That's got to be cool. And I know you grew up a fan, so like to have Hulk Hogan save you from Hassan and Daivari, like how did that feel?
Oh, it was awesome. Like I helped train Muhammad Hassan, so I knew him very well. I knew Daivari very well. So for all of us, me included, to have our WrestleMania moment with Hulk Hogan was like, I mean, it doesn't get much better, right? It doesn't get much bigger, much higher in the business.
Yeah, no, like there's like levels, and not many levels top that, in my opinion. Ryan says, how old were you when you were in WWE, Nick?
I was born in 75. I got hired in 1999.
24?
Yeah.
23, 24, give or take, in that age range. Okay. Yeah. Xero, you are up next, my friend.
Yes. So obviously we went back earlier on about like the thing of if you could come back and stuff like, would you want to wrestle again or anything like that? But if say one of the companies came up and basically said, would you like to come in as a producer? Is there any? Would you take that opportunity? Would you want to come in as a producer and really like start producing matches for people, or even as a writer? Really, is that something that would interest you, or would it be if you did come back that you would want to primarily just come back as wrestling if you could? Obviously,
Well, like the producer and writer jobs sound great, but that's a high pressure situation. Those writers are constantly like writing stuff nonstop. It's a high pressure situation. I don't know. It would have to be something spectacular for me to take a job like that. Even the producer job, you got to be the first one to get there. You're the last one to leave. If anybody messes up, it's on you. I mean, it's a very tough job. I enjoyed coaching. I enjoyed coaching a lot, and I mean, I'm still wrestling on the weekends, so it's not like I'm out the business. But you know, I don't know that. I mean, I would entertain those jobs, of course, and I would like to think that I could do them. But it's a high pressure situation. I don't know, man.
yeah,
Stress is the number one killer.
yeah,
True.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, yeah, I look at some of those producers and like, you know, when it's kind of like a thankless job in my opinion, because like half the time you don't know who's producing the match, but like sometimes you do find out, yes, but there's other times where like if the match goes great, all the guys in the ring, they're gonna get the credit, and you know they do deserve the credit, but if it goes wrong, they're gonna be like, wait, who wrote this up and who choreographed this out? It
Yeah.
really is a thankless job, and I understand, like you said, that's a high stressful situation. But I mean, the guys are good at those jobs, so that's
Yeah, absolutely. They're the best of the best. I mean, I did that when I was a coach at the performance center.
yeah.
I mean, and even then, it was just it's a high speed, you know, difficult job because you want everything to come out right.
Heck
I
yeah.
mean, I was going to say, especially now with like, you obviously have so many places now leaking to who wrote and who produced like each segment. So that's the thing. Is obviously like if your name's attached to that and the fans sort of didn't like the match, then they're just going to instantly sort of turn on you, aren't they? Really, and stuff like that. So I guess that's also on your shoulders as well, really. For
I
it.
guess.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I mean,
Before
it used to be on Monday Night Raw, like when it was on USA. You know, 30 seconds to a minute was worth like $150,000 in advertising. That's how much it costs to put that on, right? So if your match is 6-7 minutes and it's really bad, I mean, or you go over on time. The worst thing to do is go over on time because then you're taking time from everywhere else.
Yep.
But I mean, it's when all that money's involved, it's like I don't be the one to mess up.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy for sure.
Yeah.
Before we get to Leo, Ryan wants to know how is playing in the Hoosier Dome in the Indiana, I believe, high school football finals. How was that?
Yeah, man. 1994 when we played in the '93 Hoosier Dome, Providence Pioneers against the West Lafayette Red Devils, I think they were. And then, but we got beat. But it was awesome. We were under the big lights. We were on the turf. Hoosier Dome's not around anymore.
Yeah, it's like a few years ago I went out to Houston and I got to see the Astrodome. Didn't get to go in it, of course, because that's like that's a big no-no. But it's like, yeah, still got to see it. You know, it's still one of those things. It's pretty cool. Hoosier Dome, yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, Leo, you are up, my friend.
So you started in the Midwest All Pro Wrestling, and I was wondering like your thoughts and if you think on WWE ID. We're making it easier to be able to get independent wrestlers to like the bigger stages of WWE into the Performance Center and stuff like that.
What was the first part of West All Pro? Would you ask about that?
Yeah, so it was with WWE doing their ID program. It's easier to get independent talent. And kind of your thoughts on that, and
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's very difficult for guys to reach out and find WWE if they're wanting to get there, but for them to open up avenues to get themselves seen and known, of course, it's great.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, Xero, and you, Leo, but I can definitely see Nick being on the new show LFG. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with that, Nick, exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen the not the commercial, but the graphic for it.
Yeah. So it's like
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's the new version of Tough Enough, I would say. That's the best way I could put it. And they have, I think the judges are Booker, Taker. Who are the
Mickey
other two?
Mickey
James.
James and Bully
Mickey
Ray.
G. Oh, and Bully Ray. Yeah, Bully Ray was
Yeah.
getting into it with that one guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely see Nick doing that. Because I mean,
Yeah.
you're a guy who took a simple gimmick and just ran with it, and you got extremely popular and over. Not many people have done that in the wrestling business. So, like, I
Yeah, but
think
come on, come on. You can't let Eugene be the judge of anything. It would get way out of control. It would get unpredictable.
sometimes orderly chaos is a little fun, you know. But so I know you said you don't have anything left in the tank. But personally, I still think you could do at least one. Would you ever? We've seen over the years a lot of one-offs in the Rumble. They come in, do their thing, get out, and that's that. Would you be open to doing that?
Well, somebody reached out to me about it, but I said I had to go over. I said I got to win.
Of course. Yeah, Eugene don't lose. Eugene
No,
don't put
man,
talent
no.
over.
I mean,
It's that-
why wouldn't I try to win? I mean, if the prize is a shot at a title at WrestleMania, why wouldn't I try to win?
True, and those have you seen those? Have you seen those ticket prices? You got to get there some way, one way or another. That's the cheapest option.
That's right.
I love that.
I mean, Eugene versus Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania would hit hard. I reckon in the main event that would, yeah, that would hit
So,
hard.
so
Yeah.
Jey Uso stole your spot. That son of a. That's funny. Zero, your next one, my friend.
So yeah, so obviously we've already said about how many promotions and stuff you've sort of done and how all your illustrious career that you've had. Is there anywhere you wished you could have wrestled for, like any promotion or anything, or any sort of country you could have wrestled in? Because obviously WWE do like Saudi Arabia and stuff like that now. Is there sort of anything like that really? Any sort of countries that you regret not getting the chance to wrestle in, or anywhere you would love to wrestle in now if you could?
Saudi Arabia would be cool, but I haven't been there. But man, I've been to 42 countries. I've been to all 50 states. I've been to Kalamazoo, Kathmandu, Timbuktu, Rancho Cucamonga, and Lake Titicaca. And I know two things for sure. I'd give my right arm to be ambidextrous. And number two, I don't have a number two.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah.
That went in so many different directions, none which I saw coming, and that's amazing. All right, before we shoot over to Leo, I do have a random question. It just got to me because Seth Rollins has talked about this on podcasts before. How many continents have you wrestled on?
I don't know. I've been to Asia, Europe. I've never been to Africa, North
Okay.
America. I guess 3, right? And
Yeah.
Australia. I've been 4.
Yeah, I think he said the only one he hasn't done is Antarctica for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
All right, Leo, you're up next.
Yeah, you mentioned coaching and working with Braun Strowman and Chad Gable. I was just wondering if you had any other superstars that you've worked with and kind of any favorites at all.
So I was a coach there from when they opened, like 2013 to 2015. So all the talent that was there, I mean, like the people that were in my class were generally the newer talent, but there would be times where there'd be an open ring session and a lot of people would come. I mean, like Charlotte and Sasha and Becky Lynch, and they would come to my training. And that's when who was on this? Like when I didn't work with Bo Dallas not directly, but he was on the NXT TV at the time.
Oh yeah,
right before he debuted. So I worked with all of them.
Oh, cool.
Pretty cool. And
Yeah.
Bo Dallas, a very current star in the Wyatt
Yeah, big
Six.
time.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Now I wouldn't say the downfall, but the schedule, the thing that takes the people out of it a lot is the schedule. Now, it's not for the week. Now, the schedule I think nowadays is a lot better than maybe when you were doing it, because I think they're doing like, I think Seth said if you're SmackDown, you're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you're Raw, you're doing Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But you were probably on the road, what, 5-6 days a week?
No, that was the same schedule we had. For
Really?
Raw. Yeah, we do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday will be Raw, and then you go home. But then by every other month, we do an overseas tour that might be 5 days to 20 days. But still, I mean, it wasn't like the guys in the 80s that were doing 90 days in a row.
Oh yeah, because like I said, that schedule is not for the week. It's you got to dedicate yourself. You're going to be in a lot of random places, a lot of random towns. Like you said, Rancho Cucamonga, and I don't know what the other ones you named were. The only one I can remember is Rancho Cucamonga because that's where the Young Bucks are from. But yeah, that schedule. So, I mean, you were on so 3 days a week you were on the road times 52. It's like 150 days a year. Obviously, the math is not totally correct there, but give or take. And
I mean, it's probably closer to 200 because, like I said, the overseas tours sometimes. I mean, we do those every other month, sometimes every month.
On the road over half the year, I couldn't do it, quite frankly. So I give the guys credit where credit is due because you're taken away from your family, your life, all that stuff. Paris wrestling. Eugene, do you remember on Raw 2004 when you touched bottoms and you caused pyro and scared JR, King, and Regal?
Yeah, when I set off the pyro, you went out and started playing with the pyro machine. All of a sudden, all the pyro shot off.
Oh, this is actually a good question because this is very recent. They announced this. Did they contact you about being in the Muhammad Hassan Dark Side of the Ring episode?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's cool. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, the Dark Side of the Ring. I was so used to like people having like dramatic backstories or people not being alive anymore. So when I saw Muhammad Hassan, I was like, oh. Interesting, because that's a dude who, last I checked, is just living a normal life. I believe he's a high school or middle school principal, something along those lines. So
Yep.
it was weird to see him. Now this is more of his gimmick is Dark Side of the Ring than him, because obviously he's fine. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. But that's cool. We'll have to be on the lookout for that.
You got to think. There's only so many, salacious things that have happened in the pro wrestling business, and once you cover all those, then you got to start focusing on different, a little bit outside that box. And it'll be a good story because that's what Vice does.
Yeah, the Dark Side of the Ring episodes are crazy good.
Mm-hmm.
Xero, were you saying something?
No.
Oh, I thought I heard you say. Yeah. So like, there have been so many Dark Side of the Rings that like I don't know about. Like going in, I believe his name was Gorgeous Dino or something along those lines. It was like a Canadian wrestler, but he was like part of the mob, and the mob killed him. I was just like, I was hooked. I had no idea who the dude was. And
Like supposedly Dino Bravo was killed by the mafia.
Oh, maybe that's what it was, Dino Bravo.
Yeah.
I thought they called him Gorgeous Dino or something. And then the other one was the promoter that did like crazy amount of drugs and then got killed. I mean by the drugs, not anybody.
Herb Simmons, is that what his name? Herb Simmons.
Yeah, Herb Abrams. Herb Abrams. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you got the first. Yeah. I was like, yeah. Some of those stories, like I had no idea about, and I'm just like, whoa, this is crazy. From Ryan, Nick, do you play or have you ever played WWE 2K? Or I'll add to this question for that WWE Raw vs SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain, anything of that nature. And how does it feel playing as yourself? Good, you put the emphasis on that.
No, I don't play video games, but my action figure with the action figure, I get to play with myself.
I do. So, because Ryan worded it pretty good, and then you nailed it. That's good. I like it. Yeah. So, okay, we're gonna have to be on the lookout for the Dark Side of the Ring. I believe Leo is next.
Yeah, I was just really like the story behind Midwest All Pro Wrestling and like how it came about and yeah, just all that kind of stuff really.
So I was a coach from 2013 to 2015 at the Performance Center. After that, I moved to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I went to open a pro wrestling school. and there was no pro wrestling there at all. No independent wrestling, which I thought was kind of awkward, kind of weird. The closest wrestling at the time was 3 hours south to Omaha. So I started a training center and ran a territory, and we toured for 7 years. And then when COVID hit, it just kind of put a dent on the business. So I sold the business, and now I've moved to Florida because it's a lot better weather than in South Dakota.
Yeah, fair.
As a man who currently lives in New Jersey in the pretty much middle of February right now, yeah, we're expected to get like 5 to 8 inches of snow come Thursday. So
Yeah, it's gonna be 74 today.
I'm very jealous.
I'm
Very,
going,
very
I'm going to the
jealous.
beach. I'm going to the beach after this.
That sounds amazing. I'm not gonna lie to you. Xero, do you have a question or a comment?
Yeah. So obviously you done at the time WCW and sort of WWE. You've done a bit of a controversial one, but which company did you prefer at the time, WWE or WCW? Really, bit of a controversial question there. Really.
Well, really, like it was so different for my experience level, because I got to wrestle for WCW maybe 12 times, 11 times, something like that, and I was like so in awe. And then I was signed to developmental for a while, and I got to wrestle for WWE. I had more experience, so I don't know what the differences were. I was with Nitro at the time when they were ahead in the ratings, and it was just I don't know. It was much like WWE, but just a different crew of people. And again,
Yeah,
I was the one that was just happy to be there with my ears open and my mouth shut.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Whoever paid Eugene more money, that's where Eugene was going. I can't blame you. All right, so everybody has the one match, and unless you did this, you can definitely mention that. But everybody has that one dream match, wrestler or not, that you would love to do, whether it's dead or alive. Who is yours?
Well, like I said, I would have liked to have seen Eugene and Regal in some kind of conclusion.
Mm.
But if it's now, if Cena's on a farewell tour, I think I deserve at least one match on that tour.
True. You're long overdue.
All right.
And you like I said, you claimed you don't have much left in the tank, but I think you could do
Well, hold
20
on, but
with
see,
Cena.
it could be a tag match. It could be a tag.
Oh,
I could be
true.
partners now. I don't have to fight him.
True. Cena, Eugene, and R-Truth versus the Judgment Day. Something like
Sounds
that.
great. Book it. Pencil it in.
At what pay-per-view are we going to do that at?
I don't care.
As long as the check clears, you're good to go. Yeah, actually, John Keane, I used to sing. That's good for you. Okay. I don't. That's ironic. Knowing Bobby's last video. Yes. Yesterday, my booking of John Cena my booking of John Cena throughout the rest of the year came out. So a lot of interesting ideas out there. Have you do you stay in contact with Cena or?
I got his number, and if I see him on something new or something good, I'll text him.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. The guy is killing it in Hollywood, wrestling wise too. Fast and Furious, Peacemaker. Yeah, he's doing great. So yeah, we're gonna have to book a Eugene versus John Cena 2025. Hey, Ruthless Aggression's gonna be in Boston apparently at the end of the year. Florida and Boston. It's a quick flight, man. Just saying. Just saying. All right, Leo, you're up next, buddy.
Yeah, I think how does it feel knowing that you've kind of influenced like so many people kind of with your gimmick and like people who may have like similar ways of life, if you will, and like to achieve like higher things because they've seen you on TV and wrestling and all that kind of stuff.
It's an honor that people would look up to me and draw inspiration from me. It's a undescribable feeling because it's just it makes me nearly want to cry, but it makes me happy that something I did that I enjoyed affected somebody like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I never would have like when I was watching you back then because I was young, so I would have never really thought about like the inspiration you had on people. But like as I'm older now, you look back and you're like, yeah, it's like shows that people, no matter what, can live out their dream, and that's That's a cool thing. Like I said, I would have never put it together when I was 9, 10, 11 years old because why would I? Of course, but
When
you are.
when the Eugene character first debuted, there were some media outlets that were like, "What's WWE doing now? What's this new character?" But then once Eugene won his first match and everybody realized it was an underdog story, then there was no like flack like that. And I've gotten way much more positive affirmation from people. Some guy come up. My younger brother is special, and he said he could do anything because he saw Eugene do it. And like I've gotten that story over and over and over so many times. And only until recently have people said, "Oh, your character was offensive," and that's more people online. Nobody's ever said that to my face.
Yeah.
And I feel like the people that say that don't have anybody in their life that's affected, like that Eugene would have affected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like have you ever seen the movie The Ringer? I always have to make sure the emphasis on it.
Yeah.
With the Johnny Knoxville movie, the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
It's like, is it like a politically correct movie? No, but at the end they show that these Special Olympics athletes are legitimate athletes, and they beat these normal like people, and it's just like, yeah, it's an inspiration. You can do anything you put your mind to, and yeah, the offensive thing, I don't think anybody would say it to your face. Personally, I can't.
Well, I don't think Eugene was offensive because if you watch the character, you might take the synopsis of what someone says about the character and think, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. But again, just like the Johnny Knoxville movie, the people that were in that movie need to be represented in art. You know what I mean? In theater, because they need to be able to see themselves in what we're in like just like everybody else does. So I don't think there's any offensiveness to it. But that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, like I said, you're more of an inspiration than a heartache, I would say, for sure. And yeah, it's
Just wait, it's not over yet, kid.
That's true. That's true. We still have more matches for you in WWE. 60-minute Iron Man matches. I think you got it.
Eugene is the master of the tuxedo match.
The tuxedo match. It's true. Nick, you ever watch Peanut Butter Falcon? I think you'd love that movie.
I saw it advertised and I've seen it on Netflix, but I haven't watched it yet. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think that's the one with Shia LaBeouf.
I believe so, but I know I remember seeing the commercial for it or advertisement for it.
Yeah. All right, Xero, you're up, I believe.
Yeah. So obviously, if you could have that one last run, really, in WWE or AEW or anywhere, really, is there any championship within that brand that you would really love to win, like one of the modern day championships for it? Because of course you've held the tag belts and everything, so any of the singles belts that you would really want to win, or
well, if I'm gonna be winning a title, it's gonna be the world title. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go for any other title. I'm gonna go for the world title in the main event for the big money. I think Eugene could be a commentator though, man. I would like the Jerry Lawler deal where he did commentary, but then he got to do indie shows on the weekends.
Yeah. I mean, what about like what Pat McAfee does? He obviously comes out, commentates, and shows up in the Royal Rumble every so often, doesn't he? Like comes in, does a quick spot there, doesn't he? That could might work.
Sure. Yeah. Shows up randomly at WrestleMania.
Pat McAfee against Eugene in a tuxedo match. I can see it now.
That'll do. Yeah.
Pat McAfee versus Eugene, a match a few years ago I could have never even imagined or drew up in my mind, but here we are. 2025. Yeah.
The only way to win is to rip the tuxedo off your opponent.
like I said, I could have never imagined Eugene versus Pat McAfee a few years ago. But here we are. Leo, you're up next, buddy.
Just wondering, like, kind of after the pandemic, said after Midwest All Pro Wrestling kind of, I don't want to say ended, but like came to a halt or whatever. What have you been doing kind of since then? Is there any like hobbies or something you've been doing, or any projects and that?
I'm trying to make it as a karaoke star or a horse jockey.
Fair enough.
No, man, I'm still wrestling. I've been wrestling every weekend. I just got back from a 9-week tour in the UK and Europe. I just got back from a 10-day tour in Canada. I mean, I'm still wrestling every weekend on the independents. I'm around the world, worldwide.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
I think you could pull off karaoke champion. Maybe.
I
What?
No, I like to sing it in the car. I think I'm good, but I don't think I'm good.
Hey, listen. There is a show out there called The Masked Singer that has celebrities and that has had wrestling on there before. Chris Jericho's done it. Alexa Bliss has done it. Spoiler for those people that don't watch. But
I want to put
why?
out an album. Eugene sings karaoke,
There you go. See, yeah. Why can't Eugene do The Masked Singer? Jericho's
or a record. Like Lawler had a record, right? He had the record where he sang the song. I want to put out a song, put it maybe not a record, but get one that looks like a record.
a CD that people put into their car.
People ain't got CDs anymore. What are you talking about?
I know. I know. All right, so you're said you're still wrestling on weekends, and that's awesome, honestly. But your last ever match, if you had to pick one person.
I want to kick the shit out of the Miz. Is what I want to do.
I was gonna say who you're gonna put over, but I feel like Eugene ain't putting anybody over in his retirement match.
No, man. I want to beat the piss out of Miz because he was the last match I had on WWE.
Wow, that's an interesting stat. Okay, I did not know that.
Or somebody in the main event of WrestleMania because I know Miz ain't gonna be there.
Yeah, that's a Jey Uso, John Cena, Cody Rhodes, Gunther kind of thing. Going back,
I wrestled Gunther like 2008 maybe in Germany. He was like 16, 17 years old. He was Big Van Walter at the time. Big Van Walter.
he was bigger then, right? Not
like he was a big kid. He was like literally he looked like a kid, but he had size. But yeah, he was much heavier with little muscle tone. Oh my gosh!
What just happened?
What was that?
The war has started.
Yeah, what just happened? Okay, we're gonna have to clip that later. I don't know what that was. Okay.
Oh, you don't need to clip that. That's perfect. The war has started.
I was like, what just hit me in the face? Yeah, but yeah, Eugene ain't putting anyone over in no retirement match. That's for sure. You've done the job for long enough, so now people are gonna return the favor. Oh man, so Eugene versus the Miz, yeah. I had no idea that was your last match. That's pretty cool. I mean, all in all, that's a heck of a guy to have your last WWE match with.
Not bad.
Yeah, longevity. What's he been there? 20 years now? Pushing 20 years? Yeah, I think 2006, 2007. All right, Leo or Xero, whoever wants to take it next.
Xero, if you want to go.
Yes, so if you were, well, obviously we've seen a couple of like wrestlers and that appear in TV shows and movies and stuff like that. So if there was any film or TV show that you were offered a role in, is there any particular one that you would roughly go for, or anything that you would really love to be in as an effect, as the Eugene character, really, not like not like as yourself, but as the Eugene character?
Eugene wants to be the sidekick of The Rock. What are you talking about? That's the kind of movie I'd be in. I want to be in the one that The Rock's in.
Jumanji 3. It's coming.
So, you know the WWE movie Knucklehead?
Yeah.
That movie was written for Eugene. That was Eugene's movie. But I got released, and then they ended up putting Big Show in it because it was a good script.
Wow.
That's
a bummer.
Yeah.
Yeah, what can you do? I'm just saying this. There is a rumor out there that Peacemaker was written for Eugene, but Cena swooped in and stole it.
I gave it to him. I said I got a conflicting schedule. I got indie shows on the weekends I got to make. You better take it.
Yeah, I can't stop wrestling to film this. Come on. Like I said, it's just a rumor. I just heard it,
I got
that could be how you set up the Cena match. Cena versus Eugene, who gets to become Peacemaker.
Yeah, Cena versus Eugene. Winner becomes Peacemaker. Loser never acts again.
Or no, Peacemaker needs a sidekick like Robin and Batman.
Oh, I could see you playing because he has Vigilante. I could see you playing Vigilante.
Oh, is that what he has? I don't know. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, Vigilante's like a very funny side character. Like he's really good if you ever watch the show. All right, JK says, any funny backstage stories or fights? Good question.
I never saw any fights, but I mean, I was around the times when you've heard about the other fights that took place that on the internet, but I never saw any of them. I mean, there's all kinds of crazy backstage stories, but I don't know.
Can't get into them.
I mean, the backstage stories, because you're still at a WWE event, so you don't want to act too crazy. The crazy stuff is when we get in the car. I remember one time we were in Tennessee and we got some Roman candles, right? And we're driving down the highway, launching Roman candles, hanging out the car, launching Roman candles down the expressway. And we went into a tunnel and we're shooting them, and they're hitting the road and then going up and hitting the roof of the tunnel, and boom, boom, like that. I don't know why I don't know how we didn't get arrested that night.
Wow.
My God, yeah, wow. That's a because I believe you were around when Booker, and not around physically, but like you were with the company when Booker T and Batista fought backstage.
Well, that was allegedly a commercial taping. It was in L.A. because it was in a house, a mansion there. And the Raw crew, I was there the day before. The Raw crew was there the day before, and the SmackDown crew was there the day after. And allegedly that's where whatever happened.
Oh, okay. So it was a legitimate fight. It just wasn't backstage at a WWE event. Okay.
I don't know what it was because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, it could have been fisticuffs. It could have been pushing and shoving. It could have been yelling. I don't know, but I think it happened allegedly at that taping out in L.A. at this big mansion for it was for the SummerSlam. That's where Eugene had the balloon and Kane came by and popped it. If you remember that.
Yeah. Oh, poor Eugene.
Always, right? Always.
Yeah, always the butt of the joke. Ryan, you watch any other sports, Nick? MLB, NFL?
I used to watch NFL, but I quit watching NFL when they let Michael Vick come back.
Fair.
Michael Vick stealing people's pets and feeding them to attack dogs, man.
Fair.
And they're supposed to have NFL's supposed to have a no tolerance for gambling, and allegedly he was gambling on those dogs.
Sounds about right. Knowing Michael Vick and knowing that story. Who was your team?
I really liked Michael Vick. I thought he was great, and it kind of broke my heart. So I don't watch NFL anymore.
Were you a Falcons fan at the time?
I was a Michael Vick fan, and I became a Falcons fan, but I also like primetime Deion Sanders, who played for the Falcons. So
that's fair, of course. One of the greatest of all time. I'm a Packers fan, so you know we you loved a quarterback just like I loved Brett Favre, and then you found out what Brett Favre was doing. You're like, oh no, I can't support this man anymore. No. All right. Does anybody on the panel have anything else they want to ask Nick?
Kind of like, oh, sorry, sir.
No, go on.
I set that up for failure. I'm sorry. All right, we'll go. I always go Xero first. So Leo, you go first this time.
Yeah, I was just wondering who, like, your kind of favorite person to travel with, or did you only travel with one person specifically? And yeah, just kind of like that. Any like cool travel stories with whoever you traveled with?
So when we first started traveling, Regal and I were traveling together. And then Tajiri was off. His wife had a baby, and then he came back. So it was Tajiri and Regal and myself riding together. When Regal went to SmackDown and Cena came to Raw, it was Cena and Tajiri and myself. Sometimes the Spirit Squad would be in with us. Sometimes, or I might be in with them, or Lance and Trevor, or Rob Conway and La Resistance. Yeah. That was generally the crew that I rode with.
Oh, cool! Like an array of different people, and yeah.
That's a sick, yeah. La Resistance or La Resistance. Kate and Murdoch. What were their names?
Lance Kate and Trevor Murdoch.
They didn't have a tag team name? I thought.
I don't remember. Maybe I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't remember either. Oh, it's gonna bother me now. Okay. Yeah.
I think it was just,
they didn't have
Murdoch.
Yeah.
It was just Kate and Murdoch.
Yeah. It was just Kate and Murdoch. Wow.
Yeah.
It's funny how you think you remember something and it's just yeah. Huh. Okay. Xero, go for it.
So bouncing off of something that obviously Bobby said earlier on about like the one-off Royal Rumble appearance or whatever. If you did get that opportunity, would you sort of grow the Eugene hair back out, or would you want to come back as it is now? Really, like that's because of course you got shaved, didn't you, beforehand?
Well, I mean,
it's there.
Kind of there. It's kind of there. I just had
that's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just
We
none
don't
on
have much
top.
work to do.
There's just none on
Oh,
top.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Kayfabe the bald spot, guys. Come on.
Hey, come on, Xero. No, but listen,
Okay.
but hey, like, what was it in 2021? Carlito did the Royal Rumble, and that led to him coming back now full time. So, like, and I mean, he's not wrestling full time. I think he did an interview the other day. He's like, I'm pushing 50, guys. Like, my body can't do that anymore. He's like, I'll appear in segments. I'll help whoever I gotta help. But like, he's like, I can't be taking those bumps like that anymore. I'll wrestle every once in a while, and I think Eugene could get away with that. He's doing that now anyway.
Yeah, Carlito's younger than me too.
Today again, you went in and out.
No, I said Carlito's younger than me, so he can still take those bumps. I would see him every now and then on independent shows. He and I are good friends.
Yeah, I've met Carlito. Good dude. I think I offended him when I met him, but you know that's another story for another time. I went up to him. I'm like, "Yo, I used to watch you when I was little," and I was like 25 at the time, and he was like, "Oh, cool." Like I knew that. I knew he took that a certain type of way, and he was like, "Oh, thanks, man. Whatever." Um, this was. Does anybody on the panel have anything else they want to talk to Nick about?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
We are.
No, I'm good.
We are very strict with the time here, so we'll be good. Nick, do you have anything you want to promote? Talk about, get out there. The time is yours now, my friend.
I got my Twitter account at the letter UGENE Dinsmore, Eugene Dinsmore. But then I got my new YouTube channel, Eugene Behind the Scenes, where I'm talking about some of the stuff that I did more in depth when I was with WWE and other topics that people might send in. Eugene Behind the Scenes YouTube channel. Please subscribe.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll go back and when this is all said and done, I'll leave the link in like the comments or the bio or whatever, so people can find you very easily.
Cool.
All right, so well, I was gonna grab my buttons, but then this thing was still here. So the thing that I got attacked live on stream, guys. You're all witnesses. But again, thank you to Nick for coming on the channel. This was a lot of fun talking to him about wrestling. Maybe again in the future we'll have you on. Thanks to Leo and Xero for being here as usual. So as we usually do, there we go. Make sure you hit that like button. And this goes for me, Nick, Leo, and Xero. Make sure you subscribe. And yes, go check out my John Cena booking of WWE for the rest of the year video. Leo and Xero, do you have anything you want to promote?
No, just the just obviously the Twitters and stuff. So that's at For You Wrestling for me. Same as on YouTube. Got some videos coming out soon that I'm planning. But no, that's it really.
Yeah, same here. The YouTube channel, the wrestling retrospective. I've been posting pretty much every day this month, which is very unusual for me. So yeah, do go subscribe over there. There's a lot of stuff coming up, like to do with Elimination Chamber and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, go check all that out and subscribe. And yeah.
And again, thank you to Nick for coming on. Go subscribe to his channel. He's doing big things, and we hopefully, we see him not in a WWE ring, not too far into the future. Because, I would love to see that return. And I think I speak for everybody when I say everyone would love to see that return. But again, thank you, Nick. Everybody, thank you, Xero and Leo. And we are out. I am Bobby from Bobby's Breakdowns, and we will see you guys next time. Later. Have a good one.